Good evening and welcome to the Nightcap. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. We love having you here and engaging with us. Today, we came to talk about the bees. So I was having an incredible conversation yesterday with someone I met, and he works at an electricity company. But he is the lead of their ESG team, which sounds so paradoxical, contradictory. It's like, yeah, he's ESG team, but at this electricity company, power company. And it was such a beautiful conversation to hear someone so connected in our world of finance and numbers and all of these things, but from the lens and with the passion of sustainability and taking care of the environment and people. And it was so beautiful to connect to so many of the different ways and engagements that him and his team drive sustainability. And as we get to talking, we just start talking about life. And he's just like, one of the things that he feels so passionate about is community and community engagements, right? And as connected to this, he's like, if he was mayor, he'd say we've got to bring back community engagement projects. And one of the things that he kept talking about was like gardening and having like community gardens and kind of saving the bees in this whole interaction and engagement. And it made me think about the whole essence of community engagements, right? And you think when we were younger, in our complex, right? We used to have stuff where we come together as a community, and either kind of there'd be meetings for the parents or there'd be Halloween trick or treating for the kids and create such a beautiful societal camaraderie.
Hmm.
And particularly here in London, you see in some places like the community will go decorate the street and the street will be decorated, and you just think all of that joy and beauty and positivity gets people engaged with each other and just brings such revitalization and hope and energy amongst people, especially at a time when people are just navigating so much in life. And
Yeah.
so it just made me so beautifully connected to community engagement. How do we bring community engagement back? Tell me, Big Man V, do you have experiences of community engagement and what that feels like? And yeah, what do you think?
Cool. So I guess the first thing that comes to mind for me is like the idea of like parent teacher conferences that used to happen. That's the first community engagement thing that comes to mind for me. And then yeah, as you said, like the homeowners association meeting where
Yes.
now there's like your mom has decided to host it, so now there's 30
Yeah.
people in your house, and you're like, okay, like each to their own sort of
Literally.
thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think that COVID and 2020 is sort of what killed that for me.
Mm,
I don't know how you feel.
mm,
What do you
mm.
think took us away from those moments, KG?
Yeah, and it's so sad and unfortunate because I think that is the root and the stem, I'd almost say, is that in the restriction to be able to engage and the lack of dependency on community that sort of created, because we're almost forced to kind of go this isolated or bubbled life. Let's not call it isolated. I think there's so much less community engagement because we've kind of had to build a dependency without it, where that's almost, at least how I feel, is the opposite of how we should be going because people are life. There's
Yeah.
no life without people. Whatever it is you'd like to do in this life, right? Whether it's to fall in love, to go play paddle, to play golf, to have friends, to have a bride, all of those things can be done alone but the joy of those things comes from sharing them with people, you know. And so, yeah, you know, it's something I also realized that as in this journey of my business, I'm kind of first that I dove into like, I have to work, I have to work, I have to work. Like, oh, I must work, I must work, I must be doing stuff. And I realized, you know, and by someone important to me said, you have to go outside, bro. You have to go speak to people. And over the past couple of weeks, and this past week and a few days, that has been the core essence of my days. And you realize how much opportunity comes from engagement, right? And talking to people. And it's like, we have to create spaces in which people can engage and talk about the things that they love, because that's when beautiful life and opportunities arise.
No, I get you, and I think that that is something that I agree with you on, is that that skill of communicating and interacting with people. So I was invited a few months ago to like a networking event at an office space, and when I was done, one of the directors of the company just asked me, you know, how did you find it? And I said, this was great. Like, thank you for organizing it. It's nice to see so many people in a room, so many. But I think that the issue is that we all just gravitate to the people we know. So sort of, so I was invited there by someone, and it's sort of like, okay, I'm going to go hang out with that person and the people that they brought with them. You know, then you know the other guys. Everyone is doing that. So eventually, you just talk to the same six people that you knew before this night, sort of thing. And he sort of, I gave some suggestions of ways of getting people to interact, and he was like, oh, listen, I get what you're saying. So one of my examples was like, you get like a colored badge, and that determines what group you're in, and now you're going to work together to solve tasks. He's like, listen, I get what you're saying, but these things, building networks, communicating, they take time, and I think it's not something you can force, because next time you go to a networking event, if they don't have that, what, you're just not going to socialize with people. You actually need to learn how to get out of your comfort zone and go and talk to people and engage. And you know, because we had our name tags and where you work, and you know, what are you trying to get out of this evening? Did you get that? If not, then that's on you. Like, you need to go next time, do stuff so that you can get something out of this evening.
Absolutely. And I love it. It's so interesting because it's so easy. Because all those things you described as a natural thing, the natural first reaction is to, oh, there's a person I know, and you go stand with them, right? And the same thing can happen in community. But the question is, it's about engagement, right? Have you engaged with the community around you? Have you taken a step? And it's so beautiful because it feels a little bit difficult, but it's as simple as, hi, how are you? And then, you know, you end up having a conversation about the most incredible random things. And it all just comes off the bat of a, hi, how are you? My name is Khanya. You know what I mean? And it's exactly as you say, what you gain out of it comes directly from your willingness to say, hey, let me engage with the community.
I guess a next question to you, or just a thought, is when is the right time to be engaging with people and creating conversation? So if you use the old example of like, don't approach someone in the gym and have a conversation with them, like don't be that person. But let's say I see UKG and you're wearing a United shirt. To me, that's the Ignite fluid, the thing that gets me to talk to you. I think it's so tough. And maybe I don't want to blame that time of COVID or anything, but I think it is just naturally tough as a human being to just start a conversation. So all of these like community things that you've spoken about before, like we spoke about the homeowners association stuff, like there is a common goal that's brought you into this room, which is how do we make this place better? There is something that has started this conversation, but to just start a conversation out of random, like this networking event I went to, what if we were all wearing football shirts? If that was it, or don't just wear your favorite football team, and now we can, I think that. So I get the comment about like, yeah, you need to learn how to network, but I think also if we're not in a situation that is conducive to starting conversation, then naturally I'm just gonna sit with KG here and we'll chat and we'll see everyone else later. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely heard, and it can be that, I tried to rear away from this, but at the end of the day, life is all of life, right? And it's not even to be like, oh, you're going to achieve all of your goals and dreams by talking to people. An incredible lesson I've learned over the building of my business over this past couple of months is even sharing your vulnerabilities actually is the best thing you can do, right? And naturally, you don't just talk to everyone about like the thing that's happening that you're kind of scared about. But sometimes, at least there's things in my mind that I'm like thinking that I'm kind of navigating myself because they feel vulnerable, right? But I realize that when you share those with people, right, you realize that the people who love you are actually just going to help provide solutions. Do you know what I mean? And it's this most profound thing, and not even solution as in they're fixing a problem, but it's like, they're like, oh, they've got thoughts that may provide solutions. Let me put it that way. And it's about opening yourself up to that. And so ultimately, like you're saying, how do you get yourself to take that step? It's about being vulnerable and being okay with being vulnerable. I think the main reason no one wants to reach out to someone is you think like, what if they, like don't reciprocate the energy? I think that's everyone's ultimate. And you know what? That's okay. Because when you meet, and most likely people are going to engage you.
But as you said in our last episode, people are good,
Exactly. People are inherently good. What a dovetail, right? But people are inherently good, and so people will engage you. And if there's a time when someone doesn't, right, it's more often than not for the betterment of yourself. As in, that's not the person you're meant to engage with. I always say you'd always 100% know the place you must be and the place you mustn't be. Even if it can be sometimes a bit prickly.
But if you don't mind, my question is, well, please tell us what your business is. You keep saying my business. So what is your business? What's it called? What do you do?
Amazing. So Illuminated Finance is our business, and we financial reporting advisory to companies from everything financial reporting related. We help companies with that. And it's been an incredible journey of digging deep into myself, understanding my specialties, my specialisms, bringing people that have those specialisms, and then helping businesses with that expertise and passion. Once again, had to dig into the community in vulnerability in order to then help grow and build this dream and actualize this business that I've been called to.
And I guess my last question then is just to sort of bring it back to our episode is, what do you think was the most important conversation that you had? Or okay, maybe not the most important because I don't want to diminish anything anyone has told you, but what's one conversation that stuck with you that you think you'd like to share with anyone who's starting a business maybe, or just a conversation that would encourage people to have conversations,
This is the most incredible statement that I received from one of my close friends, my brothers, and he was like, where's the excitement? Where's the fun? Where's the story? You can be doing things, and once again, you can be doing all these things, right? But are you having fun? Where's the story in this thing that you're doing, right? And that's where life is. When I realized that I must engage these things and engage people with the essence of being energized, interested, having a story, it gives you this propulsion to just go out and, you know what I mean, engage from a different perspective. Yeah, so where's the story? You know,
Where
are
is
you
this
having
one?
fun? Is this exciting? Yeah, and so with that, I'd like to say good night and have a great evening, Big Man V.
Cheers, KG. Thank you so much for sharing with us.